Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to be your guide today because honestly, we're diving into a topic that is reshaping our homes and our classrooms literally as we speak. We're talking about artificial intelligence and kids. AI isn't just some far-off futuristic sci-fi concept anymore that our kids might run into someday. No, it is right here, right now. It's in their classrooms, it's on their phones, and yeah, it's right there in their bedrooms. So the question really isn't whether your child is going to use AI, but rather, how on earth do we help them navigate the incredible promise and, let's be real, the very real peril of this technology? Okay, this statistic is just staggering. According to recent research from Children's Health, 73% of teenagers, we're talking ages 13 to 18, have already interacted with an AI chatbot at least once. 73%. And half of kids out there are using AI companions on a regular basis. But here's the kicker. Despite this massive wave of adoption, only about 30% of parents are actually sitting down and talking to their kids about how they're using AI. We really have to step back and ask ourselves, do we even know what our kids are interacting with out there? All right, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for the day. First up, AI in kids' lives. Second, top educational AI tools. Third, the risks and developmental concerns. Fourth, essential household AI rules. And finally, number 5, parenting in the AI era. Section 1, AI in kids' lives, from classrooms to bedrooms. Teaching kids about AI is absolutely essential because it's become this constant, almost invisible presence in their everyday lives. Most of the time, what they're using is called generative AI. Simply put, this is artificial intelligence that actually creates brand new original content. That could be text, it could be images, it could even be computer code. And it does this based on massive amounts of data that it's constantly learning from. Think of heavy hitters like ChatGPT, image generators like DALL-E, or even that My AI chatbot that's baked right into Snapchat. These tools are incredibly powerful, but as we're going to see, they technically require users to be at least 13, and let's be honest, that is a rule kids can bypass in about 5 seconds. Moving on to Section 2, top educational AI tools and the magic of personalized learning. Now, when AI is actually applied correctly, it's basically magic. It has the power to absolutely revolutionize how kids grasp complex subjects. It offers one-on-one personalized coaching for just a fraction of what a traditional tutor would cost. Let's look at a few parent-approved tools that are really knocking it out of the park. You've got Khanmigo by Khan Academy. Instead of just handing a kid the answer to a math problem, it uses the Socratic method. It literally asks them, hey, what do you think the next step is? Then there's Duolingo, which is now using AI for this amazing immersive language role play. If you have younger kids, say 4 to 8, there's Ello. It's an AI reading coach that actually listens to your child read out loud and gently corrects their pronunciation right there in real time. And for the creative kids, platforms like Rosebud AI let students build and code their own video games just by chatting with an AI assistant. It's wild. And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer variety of what's out there today. You have completely free resources, right? Things like Google's Socratic for general homework help, or quill.org, which uses AI to coach students on grammar without actually writing the essay for them. Then you have these freemium models like Prodigy, which cleverly disguises math practice as a role-playing game. But if safety and keeping a close eye on things are your top priorities, there are specialized paid platforms too. Take Chaperone, for example. It restricts chats strictly to educational topics and will actually send real-time alerts to parents if a kid starts discussing something concerning. What's really cool is how specialized platforms like KidGenie, Kubrio, and Create and Learn are actually gamifying the AI experience itself. So they aren't just teaching math or reading, they are teaching kids how to use AI effectively. They teach this incredibly vital 21st century skill called prompt engineering. Basically, kids learn pretty fast that if you ask a lazy question, you're going to get a lazy answer. By mastering this early on, our kids stop being just passive consumers staring at a screen, and they transform into critical thinkers and digital creators. Section 3, risks and developmental concerns. Time for the reality check. Okay, so while the educational benefits are totally vast, experts are raising some pretty critical warnings that we cannot ignore. We really have to draw a hard line between two very different ways kids are using AI. On one hand, you have AI as a tutor or a tool. This is the healthy stuff, checking math work, practicing Spanish, brainstorming essay ideas. But on the flip side, and this is where it gets risky, we have AI as a friend or an emotional substitute. Psychologists from Children's Health are warning us that some kids, especially if they're feeling a bit lonely or isolated, are turning to AI chatbots for validation. They're sharing deep secrets and treating the bot like a trusted human confidant. This crosses into really dangerous psychological territory, guys, because at the end of the day, a machine simply cannot replace genuine human connection. And the Institute for Child Success has outlined a few more severe developmental warnings. First up, over-reliance on AI can lead to serious digital dependency. This means less physical, hands-on play, which young brains absolutely need to develop properly. There's also a real fear, well, a reality, actually, of disrupting face-to-face social and emotional skill building. Think about skills like empathy. You can't learn that from a screen. You only learn it by interacting with real people. Furthermore, AI systems can sometimes expose kids to algorithmic biases and stereotypes that are hidden within their training data. And finally, there's a major risk of exacerbating the digital divide, where only privileged communities get access to these advanced learning tools while others are left behind. So, the crucial point here is that alongside all those developmental risks, we've got some massive privacy risks to think about. Every single time a child talks to an AI, they're generating data. Now, thankfully, there's some good news on the horizon. As of April 2026, the updated Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, you've probably heard it called COPPA, will require strict opt-in consent from parents before any of these companies can use student data for advertising or share it with third parties. Basically, the default setting is finally going to be private. That is a massive win, but it still means we as parents have to stay vigilant about exactly what platforms our kids are logging into. Section 4. Essential Household AI Rules. Let's equip your armor. Look, trying to ban this technology entirely from your house, probably impossible, and maybe not even helpful. Instead, we need practical, everyday routines to protect our kids while they explore. The experts over at Little AI Master suggest a really memorable triad of household rules that kids can easily grasp. Rule number 1, protect privacy. We have to teach kids to rewrite their prompts so they don't sound like a diary entry. The AI absolutely does not need to know their deepest secrets or their home address. Rule 2, verify facts. Fact-checking isn't just a fun extra skill anymore. It's a mandatory safety rule. Always, always double-check AI claims, especially if it's for schoolwork. And Rule 3, ask an adult. If a conversation with an AI ever feels upsetting, or maybe it's overly flattering, or touches on sensitive personal issues, the rule is simple. Step away from the keyboard and go talk to a real human. And speaking of asking an adult, there are some very specific red flag scenarios where we as parents must absolutely bypass that whole let's see what the chatbot says mentality and just step in immediately. If your child is turning to AI for questions about money or physical or mental health, or if they're trying to navigate a bullying situation, or if it involves unsafe internet dares or anything to do with private photos, that is exactly where direct, firm human coaching is required. A great rule of thumb for kids is this. If a topic would be a serious, private issue in real life, it is definitely a serious issue for AI too. Finally, Section 5. Parenting in the AI era and finding the balance. When we think about long-term media literacy for our families, it's all about finding balance. Our goal isn't just to bark rules at them today. It's to equip them to safely navigate this wild digital landscape when we aren't standing right over their shoulders. Now, what's really interesting about this quote from UNICEF is how it anchors our whole conversation. It says, AI can absolutely be a force for good. But the vital key here, the absolute non-negotiable, is that AI has to complement human interaction, not replace it. Sure, a chatbot is great for teaching your kids Spanish grammar, but it cannot teach them how to be a compassionate, empathetic friend. We have to fiercely guard that human element. So, how do we actually put all this into action in our daily lives? First off, emphasize the golden rule for the digital age. Teach your kids to never use AI to generate anything hurtful or mean about someone else. Second, sit down and build a structured family tech plan together. Make it about your shared family values, not just a list of top-down punishments. Third, actively monitor that screen time. Psychologists are constantly reminding us that excessive screens rob kids of sleep, and lack of sleep is a massive driver for irritability and even depression. And lastly, have some fun with it. Explore these AI tools playfully as a family. Have it write a ridiculously silly song about your dog, or create a puzzle you can all solve. Show them that AI is just a tool we use. It's not the world we live in. I really want to leave you with this lingering thought today. The kids who get the absolute most out of educational AI, and the ones who navigate its risks the most successfully, are the kids whose parents are actively engaged. You don't need to be a computer scientist to do this, you just need to be present. So how will you model healthy AI behavior? How will you become the indispensable human guide your child so desperately needs in this increasingly artificial world? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today. Keep learning, and I will see you next time.